Warning: learning about art will change the way you think and see reality. Learning about anything is dangerous, but the course of entire lives has been drastically and permanently altered because someone learned something about art. Please, learn responsibly. Sometimes a kid will walk into the kitchen and hand the parent a piece of paper with something they've drawn on it and then colored, and the parent looks at it and goes, "That's great," and puts it on the refrigerator. But boys and girls, Mommy and Daddy have lied to you. It's not great. Listen. No matter what Mommy and Daddy say, you're not great. No, you're not great. It's not really open for debate. There's no way that you're great. Listen, children, greatness comes with trying and failing and shaking your fists at the sky. There is no possible way that you put in the hard work and sweat and failure to be anywhere near great. So, no matter what Mommy and Daddy say, you're not great. No, you're not great. It's not really open for debate. There's no way that you're great yet. Yet. You might be great. You have to put in a lot of work first. But the encouraging thing is, since you're not great, then there's nothing to keep you from trying, because you don't have anything to prove. You might as well go ahead and try your very hardest and fail miserably. It's good for you, for your very best effort, to not quite be good enough for a while. I'm Easel Monster, and you're watching Paint by Monster. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Paint by Monster with me, your host, Easel Monster. Oh, man. This time we have got a lot of stuff to talk about. First, sometimes when we are together, I want to talk to you a little more intentionally about learning how to draw. I want you to learn how to draw. Why? Well, first of all, because you can. Learning how to draw is no more difficult than learning how to read. Anyone can learn how to do it, really. Also, because it will give you another language to speak with, okay? Plus, it's fun, so wow, it's good for me, it's smart, and it's fun, yes. I also want to talk to you this time about the show, about Paint by Monster. I've had this conversation with a number of my monster friends, and they ask me, how's the show going? And I say, well, have you ever seen video of an airplane take off in the jungle where it smacks the runway a few times before it's actually airborne? I think the takeoff of Paint by Monster is going to be a lot like that. It's going to be bumpy, but eventually I think the show will get airborne. What does airborne look like? It looks like this. A new episode of Paint by Monster every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's the schedule I'm trying to hit. And we'll all just have to wait and see if I can actually do it. Anyway, let's get back to talking about learning how to draw. Learning how to draw. When you're learning how to draw, I want you to think about 3 different things. That's it, 3 things. The first thing is, I want you to learn how to represent a 3-dimensional object on a 2-dimensional surface. In other words, I want you to be able to draw a cube on a piece of paper. Secondly, I want you to learn how to draw from life. You're going to put something in front of you, and you're going to draw it while you're looking at it. We'll do this, all right? And number 3, I want you to be able to think compositionally. How are you going to put these things on this sheet of paper, arranging them so that it's a pleasing composition, all right? If you can do those 3 things, you can draw anything on any size piece of paper. Let's take a closer look at number 1. The moment you can look at this and see a 3-dimensional object, then you can draw all kinds of things. You could draw a little building. You could draw a toaster. You could draw a head. Wow, a whole head. A cube is one of the basic forms. Yes, it's built out of, conceptually, it's built out of squares. 6 squares make a cube. But here on the sheet of paper, we're not drawing a square. We're drawing basically a hexagon with a kind of a goofy Y in the middle of it, in order to represent a cube, because no one looks at this and says, hey, that's a funny-looking hexagon with a weird-looking Y in it. They think, that's a cube. A cube is a form. It's a 3-dimensional object. It has depth and height and width. When we're drawing, we are drawing shapes, 2-dimensional objects, but we are thinking forms. The basic forms to be thinking in are the cube, the sphere, the cylinder, the pyramid shape, the cone. Some people add the torus shape, which is basically like drawing a donut. There may be other basic forms that someone else will list for you, but if you can draw these basic building block forms, you can draw anything. Like the weed whacker going outside. Next, we'll think about drawing from life. In other words, I'm setting this coffee cup in front of me just like this, and I am looking at it, and I am drawing it on the paper. Now, there are some different approaches that we'll use to start being able to look and see the relationships in space between this edge and this edge, between this edge and this edge, between this opening here, or what's to represent an opening, this shape, and this space over here. Learning to draw is really learning to see. Lastly, we'll learn about thinking compositionally as we place these lines and tones and shapes and forms onto the paper. When you're learning to draw, first you learn to see. Then you will see what you know. With a few simple exercises and a few principles in mind, you'll be drawing in no time. I'm not saying you'll be great, but you will understand the visual language, and you'll be able to think in a visual language and be able to express those thoughts to someone else in the way that you had them. You don't have to convert them to words. So your homework is do some drawing this week. Draw some basic forms, draw some cubes, some spheres, cones. Also do a drawing from life. Set something in front of you, like a cup, anything, and draw it. And while you're making these drawings, think about placing them on the paper in a way that pleases you. Just start thinking about that. But practice. Paint by Monster is generously supported by the following patrons. My dear friend, Mr. Chris Julius. Saturday Morning Media, where you can see Uncle Interloper. And my newest patron, Well Communications Group of Nampa, Idaho. Oh, thank you for supporting Paint by Monster and all that Paint by Monster may become. You are funding fun, and I, for one, believe your taste impeccable. So thank you, each and every one. And to have me add your name here, go to patreon.com and search for Paint by Monster. Sometimes it's fun to sing in a different voice. Go make some art. Make a drawing or a painting. Go make something entertaining. Make some art. Go make some art. Go make some art. Go get your pencils, paints, and paper, plasters, chisels, markers, scrapers, rulers, canvas, brushes, hammers, nails, and tape, guitars, and super glue. Get the other kind of glue and macaronis. Get your picture frames, fried bolognas. Go get anything you need for making art. That gnawing feeling deep inside that you can do it, it's not lying to you. Get up off your butt and make some art. So, get up now, get up off your butts, and go make some art. Do this now.